All right, welcome in everyone to another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we are turning to Psalm 7,
Okay.
which we found in the New Living Translation over on YouVersion.
Mm-hmm.
And this psalm is attributed to David.
Right.
And it concerns someone named Cush from the tribe of Benjamin.
Interesting.
Now, also has this label, Shiggaion,
Oh, yeah.
which I don't know about you, but
Yeah, no, tell me more.
when I see that, I immediately think
Yeah.
this is going to be maybe like a lament.
Right.
Maybe something that's musically expressive.
Yeah, like very emotionally driven.
Yeah, like very raw.
Exactly. Not your typical kind of calm, reflective psalm.
Yeah.
It's a real intensity to it.
Yeah, and so our goal today is to really understand
Yeah.
what's at the heart of this ancient plea.
I love that.
So right away,
Mm.
in the first couple verses,
Yeah.
David cries out for help.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "Save me from my persecutors, rescue me.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, they will maul me like a lion, tearing me to pieces with no one to rescue me."
Wow. That's vivid.
It is, right?
I mean, being attacked by a lion,
Yeah.
that's about as visceral as it gets.
It really is.
What strikes you about this opening?
Well, I mean, I think it's interesting that right from the start, he feels utterly powerless.
Right.
Like he's not even trying to fight back on his own.
It's total reliance on divine intervention.
Exactly.
He's basically saying, God, you're my only hope.
Yeah, and I think that sense of vulnerability then leads into his declaration of innocence
Okay, yeah.
in verses 3 through 5,
Mm-hmm.
where he essentially says, God, if I've done wrong, if I'm guilty of injustice, betrayal, or unprovoked attack, then let my enemies win. It's a bold statement,
Right.
to put it mildly.
Like, let them trample me, let them ruin my reputation.
Yeah, it's like he's so convinced of his innocence that he's willing to stake everything on it.
It's a huge risk.
It is.
And it's like, he's saying, this is how sure I am.
Yeah, like putting his integrity on the line in the most dramatic way possible.
Yeah, and this is where things get really compelling, I think.
Because this claim of innocence
Mm-hmm.
then fuels his appeal for divine justice.
Oh, interesting.
So in verses 6 through 9,
Okay.
he calls on God to arise in anger
Yeah.
and bring justice against his enemies.
So he's not just asking for protection anymore.
No.
He wants God to actively intervene.
Yeah, he even says, declare me righteous.
Wow.
Like, vindicate me.
Yeah, it's like saying, God, the truth is on my side, so back me up.
Right.
And it's fascinating how he goes from personal plea
Yeah.
to invoking God as the judge of all nations.
It broadens out, yeah.
It becomes about a universal desire for righteousness to prevail.
I think you make a really good point there
Thanks.
about it going from the personal to something much larger.
It's like he's saying, God, this isn't just about me, it's about upholding justice for everyone.
And I think that also connects to how he asks God to judge based on the mind and heart.
Absolutely.
Like, it's not enough to just look at outward actions.
Exactly.
True innocence is about what's going on inside.
And God can see that.
Right. And then we move to verses 10 through 13.
Yeah.
And God is presented as this protector, but also this force to be reckoned with.
Okay.
So David says, God is my shield, saving those whose hearts are true and right.
Mm.
But then he describes God as an honest judge who is actively preparing deadly weapons.
Oh, wow. So there's this duality.
Yeah, like there's refuge, but also retribution.
It's powerful how he uses those vivid images.
Right.
The sharpened sword, the bent bow, that really paints a picture.
It really does, yeah.
It's like saying there are consequences for those who choose to do wrong.
Yeah, and then we get to verses 14 through 16.
Okay.
And there's this really interesting, almost poetic justice being described.
Interesting. Tell me more.
So it talks about the wicked conceiving evil and giving birth to lies.
So he's highlighting the internal origins of wickedness.
Right, like it starts within,
Yeah. And then it manifests outwardly.
and then it says they fall into the very traps they set for others.
Oh, wow.
Their trouble backfires on them.
It's like a cosmic boomerang.
It is. There's a real sense of irony there.
I love that it speaks to a sense of balance in the universe.
It does.
Like, ultimately, actions have consequences.
Yeah. And finally, we reach the end of the psalm,
Okay.
verse 17,
Mm.
and David says, I will thank the Lord because he is just. I will sing praise to the name of the Lord Most High.
So it ends on a note of praise
Yes.
after all that turmoil and fear.
It really is remarkable how he moves from that initial desperation to this confident praise.
Talk about an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, we really see that full arc in this psalm.
From fear and a plea for intervention to a defiant declaration of innocence, then a call for justice, and finally culminating in gratitude for God's righteousness.
So it's safe to say that Psalm 7 takes us on quite a journey.
It does. It really does.
from fear of persecution
Hmm.
to a strong belief in justice,
Right.
and then ultimately to praise.
And I think the core themes here, the struggle against enemies, the deep human desire for fairness and justice, and unwavering faith in a higher power, those are all very relatable even today, don't you think?
I think so,
I
absolutely.
mean, think about it. Who hasn't felt threatened or wronged at some point?
Oh, yeah?
We all crave that sense of things being right in the world. And I
Hmm.
think that's what makes this psalm so powerful. It taps into these universal human experiences.
Absolutely. And you know what? I think it also leaves us with something to really consider.
Okay, what's that?
Well, this song was written thousands of years ago
Right.
in a very different context,
Hmm.
but it still speaks to us today.
For sure.
So for you listening, I think it's worth asking yourself, what are the lions you might be facing in your own life?
And how do you deal with that need, that very human need
Yeah.
for things to be made right?
Yeah. How do you navigate that?
Because I think deep down we all long for that sense of justice, that sense of resolution, that sense of peace.
And I think that's a great place to leave it for today.
Yeah, lots to think about.
As always, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Absolutely. Until next time.
Take care, everyone.